Have you ever planned to take a walk, do some gentle stretches, or follow along with a light exercise video, only to feel tired, bloated, or uncomfortable just a few minutes in? You might have thought, maybe I'm just getting older. But what if the real reason wasn't your age? It was what you ate right before you started moving. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive. Digestion slows, blood sugar levels fluctuate more easily, and even light activity requires careful support. That's why what you eat before exercise matters more than ever after 60. The wrong foods can make your workout feel heavier, harder, and downright unpleasant. Worse yet, they can stop you from getting the full benefits of the movement you're trying so hard to do. In today's video, we're going to uncover 7 types of foods you should avoid eating before any physical activity, especially walking, stretching, or gentle exercise. These foods may seem innocent or even healthy, but they can disrupt digestion, sap your energy, cause bloating or dizziness, and leave you wondering why you feel worse after trying to do something good for yourself. But don't worry, we're not just here to tell you what to avoid. We'll also explain why these foods cause problems, what happens in your body when you eat them before a workout, and most importantly, what to choose instead. Simple changes in your eating routine can help you feel lighter, stronger, and more confident every time you move your body. If you've ever thought, why do I feel worse after exercising? This video may have the answer you've been looking for. Stick with us until the end, and you might discover that your path to strength and energy starts not at the gym, but in the kitchen. I know you are a person who likes to watch videos quietly. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to do it because you are a kind person. If the video is helpful, press 1. If the video is not good enough or needs improvement, press 2. Thanks everyone. Now let's get started. Number 1. Fried foods, heavy and hard to digest. Walter, a 70-year-old retired truck driver, liked to start his mornings with a hearty breakfast. On the weekends, it was often a plate of fried eggs, bacon, and maybe even a few slices of fried potatoes. "Gotta fuel the engine," he'd say with a chuckle. He always felt full and satisfied after eating, but lately he had been trying to be more active. His doctor recommended short daily walks to help his heart, joints, and balance. So Walter began taking 20-minute strolls after breakfast. But every time, he felt heavy, sluggish, even a bit nauseated. His legs didn't move with ease, and he sometimes felt short of breath. "I thought walking was supposed to make me feel better," he told his doctor in frustration. That's when the doctor asked what he was eating before his walks, and everything clicked. Walter was unknowingly sabotaging his own efforts with one simple mistake: eating fried foods right before exercise. Fried foods may be comforting and familiar, but they are one of the worst things you can eat before physical activity, especially after 60. Why? Because fried foods are typically high in unhealthy fats like saturated fats and trans fats. These fats slow down digestion, meaning the food sits in your stomach longer and requires more energy to process. That energy should be going to your muscles, but instead it's diverted to your digestive system. As we get older, our digestive systems naturally become less efficient. The stomach empties more slowly, and the body takes longer to break down heavy, greasy foods. So when you eat fried foods and then try to move, your body is doing 2 demanding tasks at once: digesting a slow, heavy meal and trying to fuel movement. The result? You feel weighed down, tired, bloated, or even nauseous. Some people experience heartburn or acid reflux. Others may feel lightheaded or short of breath, not because the exercise is too intense, but because the body is overwhelmed. Another issue with fried foods is that they do not provide the kind of fuel your muscles need to perform or recover. They lack complex carbohydrates, lean protein, and vitamins, all of which are essential to support light activity like walking, yoga, or stretching. Instead, they're packed with empty calories that raise inflammation and blood fat levels. This not only makes movement harder, but also increases your risk of joint pain, sluggish circulation, and long-term fatigue. Walter was surprised to hear all this. He thought he was doing the right thing by eating a big breakfast before exercise, fueling up like he used to when he was younger. but his body had changed and it needed a new kind of support. So he started small. He swapped the bacon and fried potatoes for a slice of whole grain toast with avocado. Instead of frying his eggs, he began poaching or boiling them. Some mornings he had a banana with a spoon of peanut butter and a few almonds. He noticed something amazing. His walks became easier. He didn't feel so heavy or slow. In fact, his legs felt stronger, and he began walking longer without realizing it. The point isn't that you have to give up your favorite foods forever. It's that timing and context matter. If you enjoy fried foods, try having them as an occasional lunch or dinner, but not before you move your body. Your muscles deserve better fuel when they're preparing to work, even gently. So if you're someone who likes a fried breakfast or enjoys a greasy snack before activity, ask yourself, how do I feel when I try to move afterward? Am I giving my body energy or giving it extra work? Your body is capable of so much, even after 60, even after 70. But you have to work with it, not against it. And that begins with choosing food that fuels strength, not fatigue. Coming up next, we'll take a look at a sweet mistake many people make before exercise. Reaching for pastries, cakes, or sugary treats, thinking it will give them a boost. But as we'll see, that sugar rush comes with a crash that may be harming your ability to stay active. Number 2, sugary pastries and sweets. Quick crash incoming. Helen, a 68-year-old retired school librarian, loved having something sweet with her morning coffee. A small muffin, a cinnamon roll, or even half a donut was her go-to breakfast, especially before heading out for her daily walk around the neighborhood. "It gives me a little boost," she'd say, and it did for about 15 minutes. But halfway through her walk, Helen would feel her energy drop. Her legs felt heavy, her heart raced faster than usual, and her steps slowed. She chalked it up to getting older, maybe not sleeping enough. But when she began noticing a similar pattern every time she ate something sweet before walking or doing light housework, she started to wonder, could this little treat be the reason she felt so off? As it turns out, eating sugary pastries before exercise, even light movement, is one of the fastest ways to sabotage your energy and your performance. Many older adults reach for something sweet in the morning or before activity because it feels comforting and quick. A muffin, a cookie, a granola bar, or even a piece of banana bread can seem like a harmless snack to get something in the tank. And at first, these foods do raise your energy. That's because they contain refined sugars and simple carbohydrates that rapidly spike your blood glucose. But that short burst is followed by a rapid drop, known as a sugar crash. During that crash, your body feels drained, foggy, sometimes even shaky or irritable. Muscles don't get steady fuel. Joints may feel achy, and instead of feeling more awake and energized during movement, you feel like you're walking through quicksand. The problem is even worse after age 60, when your body becomes more sensitive to sugar. Insulin, the hormone that helps shuttle sugar into cells for energy, doesn't work as efficiently as it used to. That means blood sugar stays higher for longer, which increases inflammation, slows recovery, and reduces your body's ability to synthesize protein for muscle maintenance. So while sugary foods might give you a little mental pick-me-up, they're actually weakening your physical performance in the long run. Even small portions can do harm when timing is wrong. Helen's little muffin had nearly 20 grams of sugar and very little fiber or protein, just enough to create a fast spike and drop. The result? Her muscles didn't get lasting energy. Her walk became harder, and she often came home feeling more tired than when she left. Once Helen learned how sugar affects her body before movement, she decided to experiment. Instead of a sweet treat, she tried a small apple with peanut butter or half a banana with a boiled egg. Some mornings she had oatmeal with chia seeds and a few blueberries. To her surprise, she didn't miss the sugar rush because what she gained was sustained energy, clearer focus, and smoother, more enjoyable movement. Her walks got easier. She stopped feeling that mid-walk crash. And most importantly, she realized that food could help her feel good instead of just tasting good. The lesson here is not that you have to give up sweets forever, but if your goal is to move well and feel strong, timing matters. Sugary pastries and sweets are not the right fuel before exercise. They create an unstable environment in your body, flood your system with quick energy that burns out fast, and leave your muscles unsupported when they need it most. So the next time you reach for a sweet treat before your walk or exercise, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, am I feeding my body for movement, or am I setting it up to crash halfway through? There are better choices. Your muscles and your energy will thank you for them. Next, we'll explore another surprisingly tricky food category, one that's normally healthy, but when eaten too close to exercise, can cause gas, bloating, and serious discomfort. Beans and cruciferous vegetables. Number 3, beans or cruciferous veggies, bloat and gas. Trouble Rita, a 72-year-old retired piano teacher, had always prided herself on eating healthy. After years of fast food in her younger days, she had shifted to more plant-based meals, incorporating lots of beans, broccoli, cabbage, and lentils. Her lunch often included a hearty bowl of lentil soup or a plate of stir-fried broccoli with brown rice. And while she felt good about her nutrition, something wasn't adding up. Whenever she ate meals like that and then went for her afternoon walk or joined her senior yoga class, she felt unusually uncomfortable. Her belly would bloat, her stomach would cramp, and she found herself constantly shifting or adjusting just to catch her breath. It was embarrassing and frustrating. I'm doing everything right, she thought. But what Rita didn't realize was that even healthy foods can work against your body when eaten too close to movement, especially beans and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cabbage. These foods are powerhouses of nutrition, rich in fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. But they also contain complex carbohydrates and plant sugars like raffinose that are notoriously difficult to digest quickly. In a healthy digestive system, with time and rest, these foods are wonderful. But when consumed right before physical activity, especially in older adults whose digestive systems naturally slow with age, they can cause gas, bloating, abdominal pressure, and discomfort. This is not harmful in a medical sense, but it's highly disruptive when you're trying to breathe deeply, move freely, or bend and stretch without pain. Rita had unknowingly been filling her belly with fiber-rich, gas-forming foods right before asking her body to move. The pressure from digestion pushed against her diaphragm, made breathing during yoga feel difficult, and left her feeling sluggish during her walks. She wasn't alone. Many seniors experience the same issue and blame it on aging, thinking, maybe I just can't do this anymore. But the truth is, it's often a simple matter of timing and food choice. Beans and cruciferous vegetables are harder to break down, especially when eaten in large quantities or without enough time for digestion. After 60, the digestive tract slows, and the natural production of digestive enzymes decreases. That means foods like lentils, kidney beans, chickpeas, cauliflower, and cabbage sit longer in your stomach and begin to ferment, producing gas. That gas causes your belly to expand, your midsection to tighten, and your core to feel unstable. And when your core doesn't feel strong or supported, even walking can feel off balance. Rita didn't want to cut out these healthy foods, and she didn't have to. Instead, she learned to shift when she ate them. Instead of having lentil soup right before movement, she'd enjoy it at dinner. For lunch, she'd switch to lighter, easier to digest options like a small turkey wrap, a banana with nut butter, or oatmeal with chia seeds and almond milk. She gave her body at least 2 hours to digest before exercising. The difference was immediate. Her stomach felt lighter. She could breathe more deeply during yoga. Her walks were smoother, and her posture improved. She even felt more confident in how she carried herself. What Rita learned, and what many others need to hear, is that even the healthiest foods can cause discomfort if eaten at the wrong time. It's not about removing beans or broccoli from your diet. It's about learning when your body can best handle them. These foods still belong on your plate, just not right before you move. So the next time you plan to exercise, think ahead. Are you giving your body food that will power your movement, or food that will fight against it from the inside? In the next section, we'll talk about something you may not even think about: fizzy, bubbly drinks like soda or sparkling water, and why they might be silently sabotaging your ability to breathe and move comfortably. Number 4, carbonated drinks, burping, bloating, and discomfort. Larry, a 74-year-old retired postman, had a habit he didn't think twice about. He always drank a can of diet soda before his afternoon walk. It gave him a little mental boost and he enjoyed the fizz. It felt refreshing. "Better than coffee this late in the day," he'd say with a grin. But something strange kept happening. About 10 minutes into his walk, Larry would feel bloated. His chest felt tight. He'd burp repeatedly, feel gassy, and sometimes even short of breath. He wondered if it was his heart, his age, or just the heat. It wasn't until his daughter asked him, "Dad, do you always drink that soda before walking?" that he started connecting the dots. What seemed like a harmless refreshment was actually making his body work harder. And carbonated drinks were quietly sabotaging his ability to move comfortably. Carbonated drinks, whether it's regular soda, diet soda, fizzy water, or even sparkling mineral drinks, introduce carbon dioxide gas directly into your stomach. That gas doesn't just disappear. It expands in your belly, increases pressure in your digestive system, and triggers bloating and belching. While this might feel like a minor annoyance when you're sitting, it becomes a much bigger problem when you're walking, stretching, or engaging in any form of physical movement, especially if you're over 60. As we age, our digestive system slows down, our abdominal muscles may weaken, and our diaphragm, which helps us breathe, can become more sensitive to pressure from the stomach. When you drink carbonated beverages before moving, that internal pressure rises. You may find yourself burping more, feeling tightness or fullness in your upper abdomen, or struggling to take full, deep breaths, all of which make physical activity uncomfortable and less effective. What's more, carbonation can also trigger acid reflux or heartburn, especially when consumed right before bending, stretching, or walking. That burning sensation in the chest, the sour taste in the throat, or the cough that comes mid-exercise. It may not be your heart or lungs, it may just be the soda. Larry had no idea that his daily can of soda was contributing to all these issues. He thought he was staying hydrated and alert, but after learning about the effects of carbonation, he made a small change. Switching to still water with lemon or cucumber slices, he also started drinking more water throughout the day instead of chugging a bubbly beverage all at once before his walk. The result? Less gas, less chest pressure, and, to his surprise, better stamina. He could breathe easier, walk longer, and enjoy his time outside without discomfort or distraction. The body's ability to move well after 60 is deeply connected to comfort. Anything that creates pressure, restricts breath, or adds unnecessary stress will limit your potential. And while soda and sparkling water may seem harmless, drinking them too close to movement can undermine your efforts to stay active, steady, and strong. This doesn't mean you can never enjoy a fizzy drink, but save it for after your walk or earlier in the day, not right before your muscles and lungs are about to work together. Give your body a chance to move freely without the extra pressure from gas sitting in your stomach. So the next time you reach for a cold, fizzy drink before your walk or light workout, ask yourself, am I helping my body breathe and move, or making it harder without realizing it? In the next part, we'll talk about a food group many people love, but don't realize is slowing them down. Full-fat dairy products like creamy yogurts, cheeses, and whole milk, and how they may be silently making movement harder for older adults. Number 5, full-fat dairy slows you down. Barbara, a 70-year-old retired elementary school teacher, had a breakfast routine she enjoyed for years. She would start her day with a bowl of creamy yogurt, topped with granola and a few slices of banana. Sometimes she'd switch things up and pour herself a tall glass of whole milk with toast and jam. These meals felt comforting and familiar, a way to begin her mornings gently before doing her 20 minutes of stretching or heading out for a light walk. But over time, Barbara started to notice something odd. Her energy dipped quickly after movement, her stomach felt heavy or unsettled, and she even experienced occasional cramping. At first, she thought maybe she was just overdoing it, but after talking to her doctor and reviewing her habits, she discovered something surprising. Her beloved breakfast. especially the full-fat dairy products she was eating before exercise, were quietly working against her body. Full-fat dairy, such as whole milk, full-fat yogurt, and rich cheeses, can be part of a healthy diet when consumed in the right way. However, when eaten right before physical activity, these foods can become a digestive roadblock, particularly for older adults. The high-fat content in these products slows down gastric emptying, which means your stomach holds on to food longer before passing it into the intestines. This can lead to a feeling of fullness, sluggishness, or even queasiness when you start to move, especially if your body is focusing on digestion instead of powering your muscles. Many older adults also experience a natural decline in the enzyme lactase, which helps digest lactose, the sugar found in milk. Even if you've never had an issue with dairy in the past, you might now notice bloating, gas, or cramps shortly after consuming it. Combine this with the physical movement of walking, bending, or stretching, and you're asking your body to do two complex tasks at once: digest a rich, fatty meal and perform coordinated movement. It's no wonder you might feel off balance, uncomfortable, or unusually tired. Barbara didn't want to give up her favorite foods completely, but she realized timing was everything. She began shifting her full-fat yogurt and milk to later in the day, perhaps as part of lunch or a mid-afternoon snack. In the mornings before her walk, she opted for lighter alternatives like unsweetened almond milk, low-fat cottage cheese with berries, or a slice of whole-grain toast with nut butter. She made sure her breakfast had a mix of protein, fiber, and easy-to-digest carbs. And most importantly, less fat right before activity. The difference was immediate. Her stomach felt lighter, her movements flowed more easily, and her energy no longer dipped halfway through her walk. She even noticed better balance and focus during her gentle yoga sessions, and she still enjoyed her favorite dairy-based foods, just at the right time, when her body wasn't preparing for physical exertion. It's important to remember that not all fats are bad, and not all dairy needs to be avoided. The key is knowing how much and when. Before a workout, even a short walk, your body needs fuel it can access quickly and use efficiently. Full-fat dairy simply takes too long to digest and offers too much fat in a single serving to support immediate movement. The result? You feel weighed down instead of lifted up. So next time you reach for a creamy breakfast before your walk, ask yourself, is this energizing me, or is it making things harder for my body? You don't have to give up the foods you love, you just have to give them better timing. In the next part, we'll explore another common trigger for discomfort and fatigue during movement: spicy foods. You may be surprised to learn how that kick of heat can come back to haunt you when your body's trying to move with ease. Number 6, spicy foods. Risk of heartburn and reflux. Ronald, a 69-year-old retired firefighter, had always loved a little heat in his meals. Whether it was chili, jalapenos on his sandwich, or a splash of hot sauce on his scrambled eggs, he believed spicy food kept his senses sharp. "Keeps the blood flowing," he'd joke with friends. But after retirement, Ronald began incorporating light workouts into his routine. He started taking brisk walks in the park and doing simple stretches to keep his joints loose. That's when he began noticing something unpleasant. Just 10 minutes into his walk, he felt a burning sensation creeping up his chest. Sometimes he'd start coughing or feel a strange, sour taste in the back of his throat. At first, he thought it was just aging, but the pattern became clear. The more spicy food he ate before exercising, the worse he felt. Eventually, he realized that his love for spicy food, though harmless at rest, was causing heartburn and reflux during movement, silently disrupting his efforts to stay active. Spicy foods, while flavorful and even beneficial in some cases, are a common trigger for acid reflux, especially for older adults. As we age, the lower esophageal sphincter, the valve between the stomach and the esophagus, tends to weaken. This allows stomach acid to flow back upward more easily. When you eat spicy food and then engage in physical movement, particularly anything that involves bending, walking, or core engagement, you increase pressure in the abdomen, which pushes acid upward. The result is that uncomfortable burning feeling, throat irritation, and sometimes even chest tightness or shortness of breath. This experience is not just uncomfortable, it can actually discourage movement. Many older adults who experience these symptoms during a walk or light exercise worry they may be having a heart issue. Others simply feel too uncomfortable to continue. Unfortunately, they don't always connect the dots to their meals. A dish of spicy chili, a few bites of salsa, or even hot sauce in your eggs can seem harmless. But when timed poorly, it turns movement into a miserable experience. Spicy foods can also trigger increased gastric acid production, which when paired with the natural slowing of digestion that comes with age, means food stays in the stomach longer. This creates a double burden, more acid in the stomach and a weaker barrier to keep it down. Movement soon after eating spicy meals becomes a trigger point for discomfort. Ronald didn't want to give up the bold flavors he enjoyed, and he didn't have to. With a few simple adjustments, he learned to time his spicy meals better. He made sure to leave at least 2 hours between eating spicy food and exercising. On days he planned to move earlier, he chose milder meals with herbs instead of heat. Scrambled eggs with basil, oatmeal with cinnamon, or a turkey wrap with plain mustard. If he craved spice, he saved it for dinner, or times when he wasn't planning any activity afterward. He also began paying attention to portion size. He realized that even small amounts of spice were fine. It was the combination of volume, spice level, and timing that made the difference. Once he found that balance, Ronald's walks became more enjoyable. The chest tightness vanished, the coughing stopped, and he felt more in control of his body. And best of all, he didn't have to give up the food he loved. It's a common misunderstanding that all discomfort during movement comes from muscles or age. In reality, your digestive system plays a huge role in how you feel when you're active. Heartburn, acid reflux, or even mild indigestion caused by spicy foods can mimic serious issues, and they can rob you of the confidence to move. So if you're someone who loves hot food but finds yourself feeling uncomfortable during exercise, ask yourself, is the heat helping me feel alive or holding me back from moving freely? Spice is a powerful flavor, but timing is everything. And your strength depends not just on what you eat, but when and how you eat it. In the next and final section, we'll explore a group of foods that many older adults eat out of convenience, processed meats, and how they may be leaving your body feeling stiff, dehydrated, and out of sync when you try to move. Number 7, processed meats, high salt, low energy. Frank, a 76-year-old retired mailman, was a man of routine. Every morning before heading out for a light walk or a bit of gardening, he'd fix himself a simple sandwich with deli meat, usually ham or turkey, stacked on white bread with a slice of cheese. He liked the convenience and the salty flavor. "It's quick, it's tasty, and it gets me going," he'd say. But lately, something wasn't feeling right. During his walks, he'd noticed his legs felt stiff and his hands were slightly swollen. Some mornings, he'd feel dizzy before even making it to the end of the block. Frank assumed it was just age catching up to him, but after talking with his doctor and reviewing his diet, he realized the problem was hiding in plain sight. Processed meats were silently draining his energy, dehydrating his body, and making movement harder than it had to be. Processed meats, including bacon, sausages, ham, salami, and deli slices, are loaded with sodium, preservatives, and additives. These ingredients are used to extend shelf life and enhance flavor, but they also carry health risks that become more pronounced as we age. High sodium intake pulls water into the bloodstream, which raises blood pressure and can cause the body to retain fluid. This leads to feelings of puffiness, joint stiffness, and bloating, all of which make physical movement less comfortable and more tiring. In addition to sodium, processed meats often contain nitrates and nitrites, chemicals linked to increased inflammation and oxidative stress. For an older adult who is trying to move more, these underlying inflammatory effects can reduce joint flexibility, aggravate muscle fatigue, and limit post-exercise recovery. You might not notice it after one sandwich, but day after day, the damage adds up. It becomes harder to bend, harder to breathe deeply, harder to feel energized after movement. Even though processed meats contain protein, it's not the kind of clean, lean fuel your muscles crave before activity. They're often paired with low-quality carbs like white bread and topped with cheese or sauces that add more fat and salt. Instead of preparing your body for gentle exercise, this combination creates heaviness, dehydration, and slows down your system at the exact moment it needs to perform. Frank had never thought twice about his sandwich. It was his habit, his comfort food. But once he understood how it was impacting his walks and mobility, he decided to make a few changes. He swapped out the deli meat for grilled chicken breast he prepared at the start of the week. He started using whole grain bread and added lettuce, tomato, and a smear of hummus instead of cheese and mayo. Some mornings he'd switch things up completely and eat a hard-boiled egg with a banana and a handful of walnuts. The transformation was noticeable within days. His swelling went down, his hands no longer felt tight, his walking pace picked up, and he could make it farther without needing to sit. He felt clearer, more balanced, and, to his surprise, even more mentally alert. For older adults, processed meats may seem like an easy source of protein, but the truth is they come with more harm than help, especially before exercise. If you're planning to move your body, stretch your legs, or go for a walk, your muscles need hydration, clean fuel, and foods that fight inflammation, not promote it. So before you reach for that ham sandwich or slice of salami, ask yourself, is this helping me move forward or holding me back with hidden baggage? The answer might be the difference between a sluggish step and a confident stride. Coming up next, we'll wrap up everything we've learned in this video with a motivating and practical conclusion, one that reminds you just how much power you still have, simply by choosing the right foods at the right time. Conclusion. Now that we've explored the 7 common foods you should avoid before exercise, it's clear that staying active after 60 isn't just about moving your body. It's also about supporting that movement with the right fuel. The foods you choose before a walk, stretch, or any form of light activity can either help you feel strong, energized, and stable, or leave you feeling heavy, bloated, stiff, and discouraged. We've seen how fried foods sit in your stomach like a brick, sugary treats cause a quick crash, and healthy options like beans or cruciferous vegetables can cause gas and discomfort when timed poorly. We've talked about how carbonated drinks expand in your belly, full-fat dairy slows you down, spicy meals trigger reflux, and processed meats dehydrate and inflame your body. And while none of these foods are bad in themselves, the timing and combination with movement makes all the difference, especially for older adults whose digestive and muscular systems work differently than they did at age 30 or 40. The good news is that you don't need a perfect diet to feel better. You just need a smarter one that works with your body, not against it. Start by choosing pre-exercise meals that are light, easy to digest, and rich in gentle fuel like lean protein, fiber, and complex carbs. A small banana with peanut butter, a slice of whole grain toast with avocado, Greek yogurt with berries. Even something as simple as a handful of nuts with a boiled egg can give your body the support it needs. Exercise should leave you feeling more alive, not more exhausted. And by paying attention to how your meals affect your movement, you take control of your strength, your balance, and your independence, one step at a time. So the next time you prepare to move, ask yourself, is my food working for me or against me? The answer could change not only how you feel, but how far you're able to go. We really appreciate you spending time with us today. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. It's a simple way to support our work, and it helps more people discover the tips they need to live healthier, happier lives. And if you want to stay up to date, just click the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future videos. See you again soon.